What's up, world? This is the road to Unbound. Almost started off with the ding there as I'm wearing the shirt from last year. I'm going to burn it today as we've evolved to a new name, a new year, a new season, a new theme, Unbound. I'm Rob, the former, unfortunately, mayor of Inbound. I can say it in past context. Joined by my good friends, Casey Hawkins, Chris Carolyn, and George with a B Thomas. How are we doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Excited to be here, be back on the journey to the place that I love, Boston, of course.
Yeah, not going to the West Coast this year, back in Boston. Thank goodness. I think everybody was relieved to see that. Chris, how are you? How's the beard?
The beard is good. The beard is healthy. We're ready to roll today.
Casey, how are you feeling?
I'm thriving. I I had cake for breakfast, which just adds sugar to the bloodstream.
Thriving indeed.
So that's a thing, yeah.
I mean, cake for breakfast. Let's go.
That makes me feel like a failure not having cake for breakfast. I think it's important to know that as an adult you can make choices, and that is definitely a choice that was made. Cake for breakfast.
My dad does it like a lot. Like anytime we had a birthday or something, my dad would eat cake for breakfast for like until the birthday cake was gone. So
I feel like on any road trip, all foods are at any time. Like
that's true.
Dinner for breakfast, breakfast for dinner. Like because you're on a road trip. Like if the only thing you can grab is a Hostess Twinkie, not sponsored by Hostess by the way, or Twinkies. Anyway, like you go with it. You go with it.
Yeah, speaking of go with it and cake for breakfast is really more of a metaphor for having something really good, really decadent early in the morning. And I believe we have some sessions for Unbound that were announced.
Yeah.
If there were ever a metaphorical cake for breakfast, seeing this released is definitely that. How'd I do there, Chris? Your thoughts on that setup?
Oh man, I love the commitment as always.
My new purpose in life is just to take as sharp of a left turn as I can in the opener to make Rob pivot.
Man,
I've noticed
work
that.
For it.
I've noticed that, and I'm here for it. I thought I landed the plane on that one. Yes, we are looking at the sessions for Unbound 2026. It's weird not to see the orange. I know they've gone with a little bit of a different rebrand color scheme, so the pink feels more at home for me, but it looks a little bit of a shock to the system. But as you guys have seen this, as you guys have looked through the catalog, can you give me one that you're immediately excited about? And no, you cannot say Kyle Jepsen, because I know we're all very excited for him.
I literally was just like control effing for Kyle's name.
That's a given. That's fair. He took a little bit of a detour today on the road to Unbound, as I believe his bus stop was in New York. He's doing something. We wish him well in his presentation, but he'll be back next week.
Oh, I thought he got left at the rest area back there at mile marker 421.
He was trapped at a Denny's in Iowa, I think is what happened to him.
There we go.
So that is what happened. But aside from Kyle, who we love, any of these that stick out as things that you cannot miss that would be essentially cake for breakfast? I'll start with you, Mr. Carolyn.
No. Come on now. We're on a trip. Ladies first. Ladies first.
No, I'm ready.
Yeah, Casey, then Chris, then I'll go.
Build Your Loop Foundation, ICPs and Segmentation by one of the Inbound professors, Christine Lee, who I've seen speak before. She's very cool. I am personally excited about this one because I have loved all of the Breeze Assistant updates around ICPs and segmentation, but I still feel like, and this is probably like a prompting thing, but wanting to get kind of the prompting right to get the outcomes I'm looking for. And as Chris knows, but the rest of you may not know, because I yelled at Chris about this the other day, I think many people have been using lead scoring to achieve ICP and segmentation goals. And so I'm happy to see what Christine has to say about using the tools built for ICPs and segmentation to get to those goals.
Yeah, I like the idea of this one too. The interesting thing is, like, in AI data sources, you literally have a place to put ICPs, but this is almost like using Breeze to help you figure out the ICP that you might want to loop back around and then put where you're supposed to. Anyway, that's a nerd moment there. If you haven't checked out your data sources in the AI area, you should. But also, she's doing multiple sessions, by the way. Let's just throw this out that if you look across this agenda, they have put the HubSpotters to work. Like, Unbound for them this year is like, you get a session, you get a session, you get a session. So you might want to bring her a beverage and a snack along the way just so she can keep her energy up and make all the magic happen.
Yeah, I have a nerd follow-up question. It's like a nerd question and a layman question, if you will, layperson question. I don't see. I think this was last year. Chris, keep that up, if you will. Does this showcase yet what type of session it is? Because I believe they had differences in like fireside or tactical or workshop or auditorium. It'd be helpful to know that. That way you could go in knowing, am I going to learn how to apply this immediately and be able to take notes and interact? Or is this more of, I think in the description it says strategic talk. And I think there would be a need for both, from being more hands-on and practical to being more high-level and strategic. Is there anything that indicates that?
Right now, there's nothing that indicates like a 90-minute workshop training or like there's nothing like that. It's literally just the tags, the description, and the title. So I don't know if there's going to be like a phase 2 or 3. I know there's going to be more humans show up, but I don't know if there's going to be like when the agenda drops that people can actually sign up for things. I think that maybe. Again, I don't work for Unbound or HubSpot, but I feel like that's maybe when that's going to drop.
Yeah, I had this thought when you were talking to Max and Chad about it on Hub Heroes. Relax. Everybody just let the marketers do some marketing.
Yep.
Like maybe, and get people excited about the who and the what.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the when. Like nobody's in a position to schedule a 90-minute session in September.
Yeah.
Like right now, right? So I'd say that's the focus here, like the who and the what. And I think you can start to glean, especially sessions like that, when it's from HubSpot Academy professors. It's probably a good chance it's like a how-to or a lab or like a sit-down workshop type session. So it is good to see that they're coming out in force in support of so much product advancement that has been made.
That's what I call a helpful pro tip to people that may not have been before. I know last year was Casey's first conference.
Oh, so you stopped yourself. Really good. I was ready. I was ready to use the button.
It might be other people's first time as well, and so that might not be there. I know that submitting a talk requires you to fill in like length, style, resources, that type of stuff. So I was just curious if they're going to do a phased approach that's like getting more granular with being able to sign up and select that, then I would expect them to do something like that. But to Chris's point, knowing who the person is giving the talk, and if it's a HubSpot Academy professor or someone, it could be more of a lab. That is helpful. All right, we started with Casey. Let's keep it in alphabetical order. Chris.
How to stop AI agents from making stuff up. I'm super interested in the topic, but also wanted to highlight Nate's here, close colleague of our good friend Clemen Rovat, also known as like the alien guy that just sits in the middle of inbound of past, probably unbound this year.
He said it historically. He said it historically. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like I was gonna say, like he's never done it at an unbound. Like sit as an alien in the middle and just rack up badge clicks. But also they're trying really hard right now. They're putting a lot of effort into education around AI and AI in production environments. And they've tried to build a lot of different products around it. So they've got a lot of knowledge and experience, I trust, in what this stuff actually looks like. inside of a business and daily like work environment. And, you know, whether that's in HubSpot or outside of HubSpot, like these are like, this team is really a go-to team for me to understand like, not only what they know, but what they're seeing out in the world as far as what's happening with AI agents.
Love it.
Yeah, my follow-up was a little sarcastic, which is, can you? Salim, shout out to Salim, had a really interesting article about this yesterday. I think it was something about the Goblin thing from OpenAI. Whenever you're looking at this, and kind of the theme is my last question, should you be going as former attendees of the HubSpot conference, formerly known as Inbound, now known as Unbound? I figured I'd just get it all into the sentence.
Well played.
Do you prioritize, or what would you recommend prioritizing, a kind of a smattering of subject matters that you're interested in across, right? So we've done building your loop marketing foundation, and now like how to stop AI agents, right? Would you prioritize that, or would you prioritize every AI or everything that's like role specific or interest specific to you as far as sessions?
Was that just a general question to everybody or an individual?
General question. I mean, anybody can answer that. I know that Casey, from having like new perspective and what she's interested in and her expertise, may not be as interested in some of the marketing stuff, although that's what she mentioned for hers. Whereas George may know enough about AI to be more interested in something else. It's just, again, more for the first time attendee or somebody that's going to go. It's like, what should they focus on?
Yeah. So here's kind of a method to the madness that I've talked about and used historically is, one, I'm going to pick a couple sessions that just to do a sanity check. Hey, this is my role. This is what I do. Let me go ahead and find, 1, 2, 3 sessions to make sure that I'm not missing the latest and greatest and I'm heading in the right direction. I'm going to find a session or two that pushes me out of my comfort zone, something that we haven't done that, but boy, we sure should be starting to think about that at our organization. So again, I'm going on the side of like, what do I consider cutting edge from where I'm sitting right now as an attendee? And then also I pick 1 or 2 sessions where it's just like, it has absolutely nothing potentially to do about business, because I just know that there's a part of me as a human that I need like the mental or spiritual like poking to just pay attention. I think about like Spike Lee's talk at historical inbound events, or like other humans where it's, yes, you could correlate it to business, but it was more of like that just felt good to like be part of that. And so if you do that, then you get a nice little kind of, what is it? Swatch? I don't know what.
Swath.
Swath. There we go. Of things that you're putting into your brain. But one thing I will say, Rob, in this mix that I always try to talk to people about too, is like, for every session or any session that you go, which by the way, do leave some room without sessions. Anyway, that's another topic or conversation. But any session that you go to, whether it's an iPad, a notepad, whatever you're using, make sure at the top of the notes for every session, you put the words #1thing. And you literally write down at some point in time during that session, what's the one thing you're going to do based on this session when you get back to your job or get back home. Because now you have a hit list instead of a, oh my God, I'm frozen and don't know where to start list.
Yeah. I like the point you made, George, about sanity check. One of the best sessions, and I've been to several across 5 years in the ecosystem now. It wasn't at a HubSpot conference, but on the theme of sanity check, it was me almost gaslighting myself about the bow tie model. And it was like, there's got to be another part to this. And Kelly Hopping did a session on like the emotional versus rational bow tie model, and it had kind of a parallel. And it was me kind of affirming myself in that something I had suspected and hadn't seen in any language or terminology anywhere else was actually, I was on to something, right? I wasn't crazy. And so I think there's a lot of value in that. Yes, learn, but also there's some value in affirming beliefs or suspicions that you might have. I also think there's a lot of value, like shout out to Nate for the session title. Like that, I would attend that just by virtue of the title being very interesting. So good job on that. George, I will go to you to round us out.
Yeah, I want to double down on that title thing that you just mentioned, Rob, because literally, if you search Unbound Agenda 2026, the Hub Heroes, we did an article on this and we did a show on this. And literally, one of our sessions was just because of the title. Like, and there were like a good 3, 4, 5. Like, they just did a dope job on titles because I've been a big title fan. There's a way to hack your titles. And so you can definitely go check that out. So for me, and again, it's hard to choose, but listen, I've followed Ali and now Tyler and the HubSpot Hacks crew for a long time. And so the idea of audit your HubSpot live, find high impact wins. Listen, in today's society, in the HubSpot community, we need to find some wins every now and then, because as super admins, sometimes that's hard. And so I just love the idea of, audit. I love the idea of live. I love the idea of high impact wins. And Tyler's just, they're good. They're good at what they do. And so this is definitely one that I think if you are using HubSpot and you are at Unbound, this is probably one that will pair very nicely with something that Mr. Kyle Jepson will be doing as well. And so you might think of them as like tag team kind of sessions for you as a super admin or somebody using HubSpot.
Yeah, I love that. Shout out to HubSpot Hacks, Ali, and now Tyler, as you said.
Yeah.
And this, go ahead,
like,
Chris.
I think I love this session, like the title, and like it sets Tyler up
Yep.
in a way that, like, I imagine it was a huge challenge this year for anybody submitting talks and for the Unbound team to accept talks and schedule this out. Like, you're having to submit in February.
Yeah.
For a September event in the midst of AI changing everything on a weekly basis.
And HubSpot.
Right. And so the ability to understand what would be valuable without that, like, hard commit, like live audit where you can just show up and get some guidance and like actually fix stuff real time. Like, man, that's probably one of the most valuable sessions for an admin, that you could attend.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I love this guided by proven frameworks. Now, listen, if you have not been paying attention to me lately, I talk about frameworks and systems. We are in a world of frameworks and systems thinking instead of task thinking. But guided by proven frameworks used across hundreds of portals, you'll identify areas for improvement and build a clear, prioritized action plan. Again, that's what humans need when dealing with HubSpot.
Love it. Very clear title. Not as funny or catchy as the How to Prevent AI from Making Stuff Up. I have one. If you want to look at this one, it's very biased, but I think it's one of the most interesting things with AI and headless and all of that. It is, let me figure the title out. Oh man, I just left the screen. Josh Curcio from P80, Fix CRM Adoption, a Blueprint for Complex Sales Teams. There it is.
There we go.
So shout out to the Protocol 80 P80 team and Josh, super smart guy. The concept of again, this title to me is like very provocative and interesting. Fix CRM adoption immediately. Can it be fixed? Can you get people to do stuff like that isn't their own will? Can you convince them to do it? Can you persuade people? What does the blueprint look like? How much of Super is involved in this chat talk? I know that would be an interesting thing, but aside from the tool, it's this concept now. To your point of kudos for submitting a talk about Tyler in February for a September slot. Will this be as relevant? Will it be less relevant in September? Is there a world by the time we get to Unbound where people are in the CRM and actually doing admin tasks and whatnot even less? Is that something that's more of an agent run thing as HubSpot moves there? So would love to see that. I know how a lot of us feel on the call about humans being a giant part of the loop and being needed. I think this has potential to be not only useful, but to make people think a lot at the same time about how this blueprint looks and who is involved in it.
Yeah. Listen, on this one, if you are watching or listening to this and you're like, role-based views, that's probably worth the price of admission. Because when you learn that and you start to implement that in your HubSpot portal across your team, night and day, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how we get to unified views.
Yep.
And shout out to Josh here, fellow Unbound insider. He has been doing this in the manufacturing space. So, like, if he has the street cred to get manufacturing sales teams to adopt HubSpot, again, like he's worth a listen for sure.
Yep, 100% agree. I think that's a good segue into, you mentioned the insiders. I'm speaking directly to you, the viewer. I'll do the guest thing first for the speakers. If you're on this link right here, the session catalog, and you want to come chat about your session or another one, Jay Schwedelson, talking directly to you now, we want to have you. We want to allow people to come that are speaking and talk about whatever pertaining to their session or the conference in general, or lobster rolls, or being a human in an AI world, or if you want to be subjected to one of George's rants, or if you want to chat with Casey about Taylor Swift and Greyhounds, or about why not to use segments as far as like lead scoring. We want to have you on this show for a chat. The invite stands, and we can name more people by name. Josh Curcio, I'm talking to you. Jay Schwedelson, I'm talking to you. Anybody you want to call out?
Yeah, come on now. So if we're going to name names, David Meerman Scott, dude, we need to get you on the show because you're just funny as heck and you have years of knowledge. And I will be at this session, the Fandom Playbook. It is about creating fans. It is about being passionate and getting them passionate about the things that you're doing. I definitely would love to have Grant Lee on the show because Gamma is I want to swear so bad. I mean, Gamma is just amazing. And on Hub Heroes, I talked about how we even gave our agent at Morgan API access to Gamma. And there are just so many questions that I would love to ask Grant Lee. You already mentioned Jay Schwedelson, but also, can I just say, let's get Steph, Christine, and Remington all at the same time on an episode. And let's do a round robin conversation about running loops and a marketer's guide to AI era growth. Like, these are humans that I definitely would like to see, not to mention Dax Miller. Let's get him on the frickin' show because feeling known beats targeted. Can I get a frickin' amen? Hallelujah. Like, so any of those humans, like, show up and let's just let's get you on the bus and let's talk about what it's going to look like when you hit that Unbound stage and things that you think people need to just understand and set you up for success and the audience up for success before we get there.
Couple notes on that. Number one, that was that should be clipped. So Chris, George, somebody that we need to circulate that.
Riverside AI, clip it.
Yeah, Riverside, clip that. Two, Dax, if you don't come on, we're not friends anymore, and I will retract my sentiment that you need to add somebody named Jax to be Max, Dax, and Jax at Happily. Also, when Dax comes on, I'm going to say it now, I'm going to have to dress up. He is always incredibly well-dressed, so he's going to be putting me to shame. Another Dax shout-out, that speaking of titles, feeling known beats being targeted. Can we get a hallelujah for that title? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Any talk that I would love to just sink in,
say
and
pay for
everybody that went, if everybody at Inbound could just go and consume this talk and actually understand, this would be the one. When I heard this title, I was like, oh man, that's so good. I wish I had thought of that. Right?
Make customers feel truly understood. Oh, come on. Create meaningful connections. Memory, timing, context creates experiences that feel human. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's free. It's free.
The irony that I feel understood just from that title. Yeah, and the fandom playbook, obviously a good one. Grant Lee, I know you're probably pretty busy with GAMA, but we've got some huge fans here. If you want to make 10 to 15 minutes for us, we'd love to have you. Casey, Chris, any specific invites, any solo shout outs to people that need to come on?
My arch nemesis, Matthew Ruxton. I dare you.
I don't know where to go from there. I assume there's some context that
you were
is
there,
mostly positive.
Rob.
Well, I mean, we love Ruxy, I thought. So we dare you to come on. I don't know what that means, but the dare stands. If you do not, we will skip the double dog dare and move straight into the triple dog dare, which is a slight breach of social etiquette, but we will do that.
Yeah, he's like a hidden star in the ecosystem. Like I remember seeing him on like
he's like 6'7"
inbound like placard,
so tall.
like a banner up at the event last year, like of him and like as a customer testimonial. I just happened upon him on like a CRM like page on the HubSpot site.
I texted him at like 9 p.m. one night because I was like, you're just like the main image on this landing page for HubSpot. Did you know that?
Right. But I have a story about like David Meerman Scott and why like I'm looking forward to that session and would love the opportunity. He's like one of those dudes that like no matter how big he feels, like I've never heard of him not showing up like for anybody.
Yep.
Right. And this is like when you talk about like opening your mind, like and 2023 was my first inbound. And I went to like he was doing something on thought leadership. Right. And his very simple 4-step plan included authoring a book.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around the room at like, fellow admins and like HubSpot practitioners. And like the initial reaction is like, God, come on, dude. Like I'm going to write a book. But then as he continues to like, basically, it's not even that he had to explain it, but the way he explained it as if it's like, obviously, like if you're really here to be a thought leader, this is a part of the plan. And it's not like, and now that we're in a world where it's easier than ever, not saying anybody should just, say, hey, AI, write me a book. But it's never been easier to get thoughts out of your head and turn them into value for others. And I'll never forget that as an experience of just like, thinking outside the normal lane of how to do stuff.
Yeah, you know what? We should also try to get Dale on. I did a session with Dale. Like it was Dale and me and dang it. I just had a brain cramp. That's when you're getting old, when you can't. Anyway, we did a session last year, 2 years ago. Funny dude. By the way, smart as all get out when it comes to SEO. And so here's what's fun is historical. I don't even want to say it that way. Really smart SEO dude. Talk is winning AI search. Close the gap that costs you customers. Like, anybody seeing any parallels, by the way? Also, we did note this on the Hub Heroes podcast. We don't find one title that we could find has SEO in the title of any of these, by the way. Just a little bit of a...
Finally, we made it, everybody. We made it.
Yeah. I mean, I have been kind of fascinated for, I guess, a few months at least now about people who have built careers in SEO and their take on AEO. And specifically, like, I'm really interested in what are the parallels and what's different. So I agree.
I mean, I have thoughts on that, but it'll be interesting to see what people talk about. But I will tell you, if I transport myself back to the keynote, and they were released, kind of talking about loop marketing, and I think I was sitting next to my wife and somebody else at that time, and started talking about AEO, and I was like, huh. Okay, well, for me, nothing changes because I've been doing what they're saying we need to do all along. Meaning, Marcus Sheridan, they ask you answer, and answering people's questions for over 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years now. Keep doing that. More of that. And by the way, like, it'll also be found in SEO and whatever other 3-letter acronym people decide to come up with in the next 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that. It's all to me. I'm not going to get into that. We can save that for a Rob rant later.
That's, ladies. Rob just hit the brakes of his own bus.
It's just such a it's a problem. It was a problem. It still is a problem. It's a problem for small businesses, for individual people, for brands, for it. Distribution is a moat. So like, it's one thing to have AI help, augment, assist, whatever. It's another thing to actually execute. And answering questions doesn't matter if the people that were asking them can't hear you. So like, where are you distributing and how often, right? Like, to me, that would be the most interesting part of any of that, is like, it's not just Google or it's not just AI. Where all are people kind of like hiding? Like, they're, from Dax's thing, like, feeling known is better than being targeted. It's different in the world that we live in, where people play the same game and know that you are in a workflow. So that's a separate talk for a separate day. I will pivot now into shout out to Ben, by the way.
You said workflow, so I was like, well, let's do 7 HubSpot workflow upgrades you can implement today, because why not? Why not?
Ben, if you see this, and you should, because we're going to figure out our DEO, distribution engine optimization, for this show.
Oh God, do not. Do not. What?
You inspired me to get a customized license plate. Not gonna tell anybody what it is, but it rhymes with dub spot, and it's that's what his license plate says. I want to try something since we're getting close to the end. I want to give a tribute to one of my favorite movies, one of the greatest movies ever made, and I'll see if we can figure it out. But we're not just asking for speakers, the lords and the ladies. We're also asking for everyone else here not sitting on a cushion, which would be the insiders.
Wow.
Anybody know the movie? Yeah, we also want insiders to be to all come and join at once, was George's idea, or to give some time for the show. It's a huge deal to be selected as that. I think there were 70 people. I am one of them, thankfully, for the 4th time, I believe. Casey is one, Chris is one. There's 65 other people that are insiders as well. And these are people kind of tasked with creating content, capturing it before, during the Unbound event. And I want to put a PSA. We'd love to have you as well. So we're not going to run through the whole list, but we will do that probably next episode or in a special session where we talk about and highlight, briefly, the 70 people that have made it. Casey, as a insider, do you want to speak to those people and invite them better than I can?
My favorite thing about the show is when Rob puts me on the spot. So yes,
do you remember?
I do.
Do you remember you said at the beginning of, what I like to do at the beginning? I like to take a hard left turn right before I hand it to Rob. Well, guess what? He just gave you a hard right turn, laid it in your lap, and said, "Goodbye, Casey."
Here you go.
Did. Hello, insiders. It's me, Casey Hawkins, fellow insider, and I would like to talk to you. But no, being an insider has been a really cool experience for me. It kind of enables me to go to HubSpot every year as someone with a small business. And so I know I've talked to some people who are insiders this year who are in similar positions where they have kind of a small network, or they're just HubSpot super fans basically. And so I'm excited to connect with them. And I think if you feel like you are excited about being an insider, excited about going to Unbound, but maybe not even sure where to start or not even sure how to connect with other insiders, let this be your opportunity.
Yeah, we don't want insiders to feel like outsiders. So we want to create a place for them. And if you have questions, if you want to be involved, the post says every stage, space, and conversation covered through their lens and their voice. To me, that means a lot of behind the scenes stuff in the lead up. I mean, this is the road to Unbound. So it's a lot of, the stuff that we got today. What are you looking forward to? What are you expecting? What are your takeaways? As much of a proclivity as I have towards sports radio, we're not going to lead with the negative. That is not why we're here. So we're going to lead with humans and invite people to do that. Chris, I'll also ask you the same thing. Anything that you would challenge them to think about, or maybe any advice for like a first-time person that is going to Unbound as an insider?
Yes, that is the right word, I think. Challenge, because you might have been really excited to join this program. And now you heard what Rob just said, where everybody's going to be watching insiders, looking for content through every lens at Unbound all the time. My first couple years, I was like, all right, I'm going to do all this stuff and bring all this gear. And we're just going to like do all the videos. And like, I could never live up to that expectation. So this series, last year, I did the Road to Inbound and a few other, at the time, correspondents, before we have insiders this year, took me up on the offer of like, don't be overwhelmed. Just come and start doing some content with us. And that is one of the best ways to just, break that seal and understand that if you can just show up at Unbound and share your experiences, whatever they may be, that's what the team, Gabby and the team, are looking for, right? So you are more than welcome to join us on the bus here. I'd say that's half the reason why it exists in the first place, is to give everybody a space to just, share what they love about Unbound and the experience.
Speaking of bus, George B, the B stands for bus some days. We'll kick it over to George for final closing remarks and our message of the day.
Closing remarks is, it is a event to go learn. But I would also say leave space to actually rejuvenate. So many times people come back from something and say, I need a vacation from my vacation. And I need a vacation from the event or whatever. And like, it should be educational, but also find ways to have fun and relax. That's where I'll leave this at.
Love it. You want me to do
Sweet.
my new unique sign off, Chris?
Well, we got one last thing, but I'll do it after your sign off.
Okay.
What's your sign off?
I need to prep for it, so go ahead and do your thing.
So I'll just do my thing then. Thanks to Mr. Chris. We're going to go ahead and sign off with this right here.
There's a man named George who's been here a while. Got a hoodie and a story and a hallway smile. There's a Casey on the bus catching everything she sees, asking better questions than the rest of us, please. There's a Rob up front like he was born to drive. Loud his voice but quiet when it matters. Why we're alive. Cow climbed on last with an orange hat on, sat down in the back. He was right where he belonged. We're on the road unbound, counting every mile we go. Some of us know the way by heart, some of us are learning slow. Hand on the wheel, foot on the floor, can't look away from what's in store. We're on the road to unbound. Pull up a seat, come along.